There is no way we can kick off summer fashion class without talking about Barbie. Barbie is everywhere, and she is more than a movie at this point. She is a cultural phenomenon. It seems every brand has their own Barbie inspiration. She's in clothing, she's in makeup, she's in shoes, she's all over social media. She is inspiring all those pink girlies you see in crowded spaces. What is going on here? Why is this movement so popular? I'm gonna discuss who Barbie is, why she's culturally relevant, and the possible pros and cons. As we know in fashion class, trends are about group identity experiences. So what is this identity experience saying? And finally, I'll bring up the social questions this movement poses to society. So bring out the glitter, bring out your best pink fits, because we're going for a ride. Who is Barbie? I asked my husband who he thought Barbie was, and he replied, "Isn't she just some plastic bimbo?" After the initial shock, I actually thought this is so interesting because that is absolutely the stereotype of Barbie. But it's an interesting stereotype because she's actually quite a successful woman. She's out in the world, she's an astronaut, a professor, a doctor. The list truly goes on for Barbie. And if your reaction was, "Oh, I thought she was just a housewife." Just a housewife? I thought we've moved on from thinking housewives are less than other career women. Have we moved on from that yet? Check your bias, because Barbie is about women living their fantasy, whatever that fantasy may be, at its highest level. Whether she's a fantastic stay-at-home mom or a fabulous astronaut, Barbie has no limits. Barbie is positive, she's a dreamer, she embraces her femininity. So no, Barbie's not a bimbo, she's a woman who embraces femininity while approaching her dreams at the highest level possible. Why is Barbie so relevant in culture? How is it this trend is so widely loved? To understand this, we need to think about our relationship with women and what they have been told from a society point of view. Let me give you an example. For me, growing up in the West, I loved Barbie, I played with her all the time, I was super girly and feminine, loved pink. But I soon realized in my childhood that if I wanted to be taken seriously, it wasn't embodying any of those things. Really, the image of success for women growing up was to act more like a man, to embody more masculine qualities. I needed to dress, speak, approach my work in the image of that masculine energy. On top of that, dreaming big seemed to be completely unrealistic and actually laughable. So I think as a whole, there is a generation of women who grew up believing that in order to be successful, it is through qualities that have nothing to do with Barbie. They're instead qualities that have to do with a very serious masculine figure. What's happening now in culture is quite a feminine embrace. People are saying, I can be feminine and still be taken seriously. I still have good ideas, and you know what? I'm fun. It's not actually a burden on the environments I'm in professionally. It is a positive. It is a plus. It's valuable. It's an important perspective. My ultra feminine embodiment adds optimism in a world that's super negative. I think that's the core reason why this is so loved by so many. For a lot of people, they feel like they can be themselves again. And maybe if you don't completely resonate with the Barbie energy, you can at least feel the twinkle of pink spirit in different aspects of your life, that twinkle of optimism. We're allowed to have fun and be ambitious on our own feminine terms. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't legitimate concerns to the movement. What are the pros and cons to the Barbie movement? Here's how I see it. It is so beautiful to see so many people having so much fun. They're tapping into a femininity that's been suppressed by the image that you needed to act more like a man to be successful, act more serious, act more masculine. So there's this joy of expression and a general optimism that this world has been needing. The possible cons I see is that this movement can easily turn into an emptiness. If we make the mistake as a society of viewing success in an image, just like we did a man, but now it's just become this ultra feminine image, we can run into the same problems of people feeling like they need to embody a certain image to be successful. For the Barbie movement, this could lead to beauty standard issues, overconsumption, and a general focus on materiality. For example, feeling like the things are what makes Barbie Barbie. Because of this dynamic, there's some major social questions that the Barbie phenomenon is posing. I think the first question is, can society view ultra feminine embodiments seriously? How long has there been this stigma of the girly girls not being smart enough, not being ambitious enough, and the list goes on? So there's these stereotypes attached to different feminine embodiments that can sometimes hold these women back. I think there's also questions if Barbie can survive in the real world, and I think this is the major premise of the actual movie. How does this fantasy work when we're faced with real life problems? When is that relentless optimism helpful and when can it be hurtful? Are there limits to this energy? Nothing is 100% perfect. So can people embody this ultra feminine Barbie energy and realistically thrive in our imperfect and often negative world? Is the self-adornment really helpful, or is it just a distraction? Where are the limits to fun and seriousness? All of these questions that I'm sure Barbie will experience in the upcoming movie are real questions we are kind of going through in society now. What do you guys think?